think, these markets are starting to get weird. I will tell you this, I'm not really tripping. I don't, I don't have stuff, tied up in these markets where I'm worried about it. But also, before this market goes, before the United States dollar goes, Europe is going to go. Italy is going to go. There's going to be other things that are going to go that are going to point out that's like, oh, here it's coming. And also, I'm almost certain that the stock market is going to melt up before it crashes, which means, stuff is going to get crazy overvalued. And there's a lot of money to be made, and if you're, positioned correctly, take advantage of these types of situations. It's just a transfer of wealth. Wealth does not disappear, just like energy does not disappear. It is never destroyed. So let's get into the show. Mind State of a Trustee, Part 3. Like I said, as people hit me up, I was talking to people that was really, digging the show. Mind State of a Trustee, I don't know. So I did want to come back at it. With, Mind State of a Trustee, I'm not going to go into, specific, things with regards to administration off the top of my head that I know of, but I'm going to, talk about some fundamental mind state requirements when it comes to, being a successful trustee. I feel like a lot of people are hesitant to move forward and, really go private because there's, so now I got my state's private, now what? So I feel like, there's a disconnect. But first and foremost, in order to be a proper executive trustee, you got to have a certain mind state. And it's an entrepreneur mind state. Now, maybe you don't have an entrepreneur mind state, but you can learn. You can learn to be an entrepreneur. It's not like, some people are born to be the entrepreneurs, but those aren't all the only entrepreneurs that are successful. There are highly successful entrepreneurs who, just put in the work and make it happen. So the first thing is you got to believe in yourself that you can do it. Because you can, but you can't if you don't believe. If you don't believe, if you're not going to try it. And even if you do try, you're going to try like half-stepping, half-ass try. It's not going to be your full potential, your full, push. So if not, you're not going to get the, desired results, which is going to, further perpetuate that cycle of, I'm not even going to try because I can't do it. We got to avoid this first and foremost. We got to be good to ourselves. So, the mind state is what I focus on. What I want to focus on with this mindset of a trustee series, I guess. I might stop saying parts and just keep doing, a mindset of a trustee. Maybe I'll do it once a month or something like that. I don't know. But mind state, entrepreneur mind state, the requirements, requisites. These are things that, you pick up, you work on. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen in 2 weeks. It's something that, you build up through repetition and consistency and dedication. And, and I say that because, just because you can't pick up certain qualities and characteristics in a week or so, then you feel like, oh, man, well, it's not me. No, that's not true. Don't give up. How many people have given up right before they got successful? We'll never know. But successful, habits employed by top entrepreneurs. And that's what we are. We're executive trustees. Our main job is to generate income for the private estate. That's the main job. The biggest thing is we want to step over to the passive income side and really start building that. But in order to do that, we need to generate income to the family estate. Now, we understand multiple streams of income is the pathway to wealth. But we got to, in order to get to a multiple, you got to do the one first. Please understand if you hear me, be like, how you going to get to two if you ain't got one first? Like, you'll never get to two if you don't have the one first to add to make it multiples. Okay? So it can be, a cantankerous, large type of thing that you're dealing with, but at the same time, it's like the only way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time, so let's do it slow. But the number one habit of a successful, executive trustee is focus. You got to set your sight on a goal at a young age and consistently run after the goal for decades. Like, that's the best way to do it. Like, so some of us, hey, we might not have decades right now, but that doesn't mean that we can't be successful. But like the most successful trustees and entrepreneurs set their sights on a goal and they pursue the goal over decades. This being, you say no to shiny objects and the shiny object syndrome. That's what most entrepreneurs fall prey to. You get some money. Oh, I got this big check. Ooh, you want to celebrate, congratulate yourself. So you go buy the GLK 450, whatever. Like, no, just because you afford it doesn't mean. Just because you can't afford it in the moment doesn't mean you can afford it. Period. And his worst habit, and is the program habit of going out and grabbing something on a consumer level versus reinvesting it into yourself, education-wise, or reinvesting it into your business. So, that takes focus and it takes delayed gratification. You need to develop your delayed gratification. Things are better and the best things come to those who wait. You focus on one thing, learn everything you can about it, stick with it through the ups and downs, market cycles, economic crashes, whatever. Good news, bad news, doesn't matter. Focus. Number one habit of a successful executive trustee. Number two is to commit yourself to lifelong learning. And fall into the trap of thinking that you're too busy to read books or invest in your private education or do whatever it is. That's a trap. You're never too busy. I know you heard the phrase "all leaders are readers," but you need to make time, and you'll never have time unless you take the time. For example, Bill Gates reads an average of one book every week. Mark Cuban reads more than 3 hours a day. Elon Musk said he's an avid reader, and he learned to build rockets through reading books. Oprah chooses one book per month from her book club, or for her book club members to read and discuss. Warren Buffett spends up to 80% of his day reading. When asked about keys to success, Buffett pointed to a stack of books and said, read 500 pages like this every day. That's how knowledge works. It builds up like compound interest. All of you can do it, but I guarantee not many of you will do it. That's what Warren Buffett said. So number two, commit yourself to lifelong learning. You got to have this in your mind state of the trustee. Exercise, believe it or not. Top CEOs are in great shape. Most successful people are in pretty good shape because they take their health seriously, and it's important. Now you don't have to be in the best shape of your life, but there's some people that install treadmill desks. Some people have alarms that go off and do 10 or 20 jumping jacks. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? You want to exercise. And not exercise for something, just exercise to exercise. Whatever happens, happens. Don't get focused on a goal and get, too distracted is what I would say, on a goal. Number four, you want to start your day as early as possible. Virgin CEO Richard Branson gets up at 5 a.m. to exercise. Apple CEO Tim Cook is awake and sending company emails by 4:30 a.m. Disney CEO Bob Iger is up at 4:30 a.m. and uses his quiet time to read. Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz is up at 4:30 a.m. And, the list goes on and on. So, you want to get up as early as possible. You do your best work. And your brain is at its optimum performance right after you wake up for the next 8 hours. So you wonder why school wanted your first 8 hours or so, and your job wants your first 8 hours or so of your day for the majority of your weeks, for the majority of your life. It's significant. Number five, meditate. Now, meditation takes different forms. I'm not trying to get you, you got to sit in a circle, with the legs crossed and all that stuff, Some form of meditation is zoning out. Some forms of meditation is just doing your best to clear your mind. Some form of meditation is focusing or hyper-focusing on one single thing. Everybody meditates different. And meditation may look different for you. Bottom line is just making some time to get quiet and be quiet and focus or not focus. Thinking time. Number 6. The most successful executive trustees and entrepreneurs schedule thinking time. If your business could talk to you right now, what would it say? Then sit there and think until you have answers, and answers start to bubble up. Then you want to journal what comes up. It's a powerful technique, and I suggest you utilize it right away. Just start doing it. 30 to 60-minute blocks of time in your schedule to sit quietly with a pen and a blank page and think deeply about your business, deeply about your goals, deeply about what you're looking to do. And then 7, the final one is find your high achiever network. You got to surround yourself with people who are at least reaching for the goals or similar goals that you're reaching for. Laziness and lethargy is contagious. You want to stay away from people. You are the 3 people you spend most of your time with. And, if you got a family, I'm not talking about your family and children and stuff. So I'm talking about professionally. So, who are you spending your time with? And you want to, seek out colleagues. And seek out people who have more information, have more knowledge, who know more than you do. And keep these people in your circle, because they'll always be adding, and it'll keep you on your toes, because if you're getting value from your circle, you're going to want to contribute value as well. So you want to keep those types of people around you. So moving forward, I do want to touch on the mind state of a trustee. When it comes to study, I've mentored a lot of people in private, with trustee training and stuff, and most, I would say most, so more than 50%. Most trustees, I don't have any issues with, and I don't tend to have issues with, any trustees, but what I'm saying is, a lot of trustees, they get into training and, a workman is where they hire, so, they make their donation, and they're like, yo, so just, give me the stuff and just tell me what to do. And it's like, I can't just tell you what to do. Tell you what to say. I can walk you through things, definitely. I ain't got no problem with that. But you need to be able to understand that trustees must know or learn what I know, plus more, because I'm continuing to learn. So I feel like a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot, but it's a fair number of trustees who, and just people in general who, feel like the learning process is similar to someone performing a service, such as someone coming in and cleaning your house or something. I give you money, you clean my house, so I don't have to do it. Versus I give you money, you teach me how I have to work in order to learn and study and look up terms and all that stuff. That is education. And that's part of education. Part of the education process is that you have to work. You have to study. You have to learn. You have to be willing to learn on the fly as well. Because I'm not going to walk in to the office with you and your accountant. I'm not going to be able to be there. I mean, you can call me, but these people in the public are determining and making impressions off of how you speak and what you say as a trustee. And yeah, it's good to be like, yo, let me call. I'm going to call him. I'm gonna step out and actually, can you talk to him? Yo, so can you talk to him? Yeah, I'm gonna talk to him. I ain't got a problem with that. I love it actually, but I'm not the one there. I'm not the one there making the first impression. Me personally, I don't want to have to call anybody when I'm trying to do business. If I'm in the bank trying to open an account, I don't want to have to. I'm a chill. This is where delayed gratification comes in. Like a lot of people like, how soon can I get my business trust account open? Like tomorrow if you really want. Okay, cool. So just don't want to learn. Okay, so are there things that I should know? I rarely hear like questions like that. And when I do, I specifically say like, hey man, I like that you're asking that question. Or hey sister, that's very, very observant. And it, that shows and speaks to, how serious and your style of learning. Now, everybody has their own style of learning, and some people, they have to be taught like that. And I'm not talking about those people because I can differentiate between someone who has a specific learning style versus someone who is kind of expecting for this to kind of be a breeze. And it's not. It definitely isn't. Being an executive trustee is not a breeze. It's not. It's work. It's a lot of mental work, too. Like, that's why I say you got to take time for yourself. You got to sit down as a trustee and sit down and mentally know and map out what you're about to do. And then try to anticipate, okay, so what if this happens? If this happens, okay, so maybe I should, do a minute and then, I'll execute the con. Okay, cool. You got to sit down and be able to work things out and, prepare and put yourself in positions mentally to where, you're in a situation and this is what's going on. And now, how would I handle that? You have to be able to do that. You should want to be able to know what I do and do what I do. You should want, to be like, okay, and what else? Is there anything else that I'm missing? And put in the extra work. All right, so what's the super secret move? I know you got super secret moves, so stuff that you don't really tell trustees and da-da-da-da. Okay, so tell me something, let me get it. Let me get it all. That's the type of person I am. I want it all, man. I got to prove myself. I got to do backflips. I got to do 20 push-ups. I got to do this. I got to memorize these 4 pages. What I need to do to get all of it, and the extra stuff. Because this is my private estate, especially you talking about being an executive trustee. This is my private estate. This is going to affect generations after me. And I'm looking for that effect to be positive, hands down. So I understand the importance of it. And the importance is trustees must know and learn what I know, plus more. Well, what if, I could have a stroke right now and be like, wow. You'd be like, dang, I heard, it sounded like he fell. Like, while he was doing the show, I heard a thump. You should never depend on anyone. Even if I'm saying, like, trustee training, there's really no cutoff. You can stay in trustee training as long as you want. I wouldn't expect anyone to get comfortable. I just want you to feel comfortable knowing that you're going to get what you need. Excuse me. Now get comfortable like, oh, okay, so anytime I need to, I'm going to be able to call Sot. That might not be the case. With fervor, we should be attempting to shift this mental paradigm into the executive trusteeship as quickly and as specifically and precisely as possible. So, as a trustee, you must study. I take out time every day and pick up a document that I printed off or a book or a law dictionary or some sort of trust document. I mean, I'm looking at case law. I just got another case now I need to look up. I just wrote it down. I'm always taking in information every single day. Some days it's for hours. Some days it's only for 10 minutes. But every single day, I have to consume information. I need to stay current, and I need to build and continue to build the foundation of the knowledge that I have, which is trust knowledge and contract knowledge, and different jurisprudences of law knowledge, commercial knowledge, banking knowledge, all this stuff, grammar, there's a lot of nuances when it comes to this stuff. And I'll never know everything, so I'm continually learning. That's why people say, man, I like that you have trustee training and you go on sessions and we can stay in as many sessions as we want as trustees, because as you keep going, I can tell the difference in your sessions get better and better, because I'm continuing to learn. I'm still studying. I'm studying trust still, almost daily. So every time I come at this, from an educational standpoint, I've upped my knowledge standpoint. So it's going to be different. And that's only natural. I don't like stagnation. We stop. I feel like we stop moving, we die. Anything in nature that stops moving dies. If I quit loving, my spirit dies. If I quit learning, my brain dies. My mind dies. If I quit fighting, my soul dies. And that ain't happening. So, we gotta stay on this thing where we're continually and constantly learning. We're continually perfecting our interface with public actors. We're continually perfecting the different things that we're doing with our estate. Now you got an estate, you got a trust. Oh man, that's trust is raw. You start a business trust, you do, man, should I even say it? You do a letter of credit from the business trust. Oh. Fund the LLC, fund whatever you're trying to do, man. I mean, you can do the business trust and exchange, certificates of beneficial interest, not beneficiary certificates, and you can specify what the rights of a certificate holder versus a beneficiary. So there's two different, and you can use those to fund the trust to purchase the first property. You just draw it up. That's why I'm telling my trustees to do business plan. Look, man, I'm not playing out here. We put it together. This is the foundation. You're not going to learn how to discharge. You're not going to learn. There's a lot of stuff you're not going to learn at the foundation. It's a lot. Do I know it? Yeah, hey, I don't know. But this is the foundation. This is the first step. Like, this is the foundation. Like, you look back at the foundation, like, all right, cool, I'm ready to finish this. I'm ready to get this started. Like, foundation, you don't just get here and be cool. But yeah, you can start a real estate investment trust and draw up the indenture, code. Is it private? Sure, you know what I'm saying? But, there's a proposal. And within this proposal, I'm proposing that you, deposit this certain amount of, Federal Reserve notes with the trust. And, we're going to, in exchange for that, as a trustee, I'm going to give you, 100 units of certificates of beneficial interest. You're not a beneficiary, but you hold certificates that allow you to get a certain benefit. What is the benefit? Well, if you look at your proposal on page 3, you will see that the benefit is, a certain percentage of the profits, gross or net, I don't know how you want to do it, of the, the rental portfolio. For life. For life? What you mean for life? Forever. Well, sir, because, this is a business trust and, it doesn't ever die. So it's going to continue on and it's going to have successor trustees. So, this could be some generational income. Oh, really? It just so happens that I have a family trust that never dies and could use some generational income. Or however you want to do it. Yo, you get paid this, and you get cashed out in 2 years. I don't know. The terms are up to you. And if it looks good and if it's tight, banks will give you money. Wealthy individuals and executive trustees such as myself, let me give my hands on a nice proposal. Let me see. Hold on, what? What? Oh, this looks good. Oh yeah, there is more money ready to be invested than there are safe and suitable investments in the world. I'll say it again. There's more money available for investments than there are safe and suitable investments. And a lot of people in the public know the power of a properly drafted contract trust, business trust. I mean, that's why there's private bankers. Go to bank, go to Wells Fargo, and walk into the location. It's gentrification, though. You're gonna walk in there, and depending on what neighborhood you're in, just ask them like, you got private bankers at this location. And depending on what neighborhood you're in, they might say no, but they're over at this location. And man, if they say they're not in that location, it's because you're in a certain neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? And where they tell you where the private bankers are is going to be in a certain other neighborhood. If you follow what I'm saying, it's all good. Whatever. Go and talk to that private banker with a properly drafted business trust. You ain't gonna learn that. I help people. With stuff like that. Trustee training is, business trust, asset protection trust, family trust. Set up your LLC, business credit, all that stuff. All that stuff's included, but, as far as doing instruments and blah, blah, blah. I mean, I'll help you with that, but, there's only so much I can do. And on top of that, I don't like speaking on stuff that I've never done myself. Now, have I went and talked to a private banker at Wells Fargo? Oh, yes. Yes, I have. Absolutely. Am I comfortable enough to, dabble in, different stocks? Yes, I am. I've done a lot of study in finance and, equities markets and futures markets and so on. So I've done a lot of study on, different asset classes, and I've done my homework. I knew one day I would be managing a fund. I just did not know that it would be set up as a trust fund. Like, for real. Like, shut up. Now, do I feel like I'm good enough to give you advice? No. I do feel confident enough to be like, if you wanted to invest in the fund, in return, man. If there's, certificates of, interest, yeah, you could get some, sure, yeah, absolutely. That's, But do I give financial advice? I do not. I'm not an attorney. I don't. It's for educational purposes, entertainment, I guess. Some people use this stuff as entertainment. That's. I always wondered, why do they say entertainment? Because it's entertainment to some people. This stuff is definitely. It's not, anything anybody's going to, particularly just, actually act upon the type of information. Some people just like hearing about it, thinking about it, and ooh. At one time, I almost was thinking about it. So, continued learning is very important. Understanding what you can do, once you're properly structured, understanding what you can do, what the run rate, what is a run rate? If I have an entity, if I administer entities that never die, and my family name, my family, my genes will never die. They will continue to perpetuate through the years. So I have, this entity that will never die. What types of, investments and investment opportunities are available to these types of entities? And what are the necessary requirements? Start moving forward. Get into a business. We can start, investing in businesses through your business trust. You can start your own business, LLC, and your business trust is, invested in that, or just holding shares or ownership, or how, it's the sky's the limit. There are definitely genuine ways that we do this, but, legal tax avoidance is not, fairy dust. It's not like, sprinkle fairy dust over here. Well, where do you get fairy dust? Well, I don't know where you get it. I ain't got no more. I can't give it to you. Oh, man. I can't. Legal tax avoidance is continuously spoken on and held to be lawful and legal with regards to the Article 3 courts. Heavily. So many citations of authority with regards to legal tax avoidance. Are you deprogrammed enough to know that that's true? I don't know. Some people might, hey, it's not the boogeyman. I ain't talking about no I ain't talking about discharge. We owe no duty to the public with regards to our energy. You know what I'm saying? There's sales tax, there's use tax. Okay, I purchased this. Okay, I'm using this, and this came from the public. Okay, fine, cool. But like withholding income from what I make off of the exchange of my life and my labor. Come on, man. That's slavery. That's straight up. That's slavery. Hands down. And we are allowed, I wouldn't even say allowed, we have the right to legally avoid that situation. And it starts with trustee training, period. You got to know how to use them, because ain't nobody in the public going to tell you. Every attorney's first duty is to the public, to that state, wherever they got their bar card, and then, to the client, maybe. After there's the public, the state, and then the court, and then maybe the client. Ain't no attorney out there that's gonna be like, all right, man, you got this private contractual trust. All right, I got you. I'm about to administer this for you, and you're gonna be straight, and I'm gonna keep you private. Nah, man. As soon as someone above them at the bar or whatever, somewhere in the court, someone gets wind of what they're doing, oh, nah, that's not gonna fly. These attorneys are the enemy. When we're private, these attorneys are the enemy. The only time they're not the enemy is if you contract an attorney to represent an LLC that's owned, or the shares are held by a private entity, like such as the business trust. The LLCs, you can't, you have to hire an attorney to represent them in a commercial matter, and any type of legal matter or something like that. Other than that, man, attorneys are the enemy. I think depending on attorney. What you mean? Attorneys don't like me. I've had attorneys tell me that they don't like me. Like, man, why? Oh, because you know more than we do. Oh. Get talking, say some stuff, and suddenly they go in and check it out, and hey, what this guy says is true. He said he's not an attorney though. How does he know this stuff? Continual learning. Focus, man. Focus on learning. Focus on being successful. You through sheer force of will, what's in your mind, the future, that utopian, that top of the line future that you see for yourself, pull it into the present from the future. Grab it and pull it towards you. It takes extreme focus. You need to put your pride away and be like, look, man, I know nothing. I can learn something from a child. And I am a student and here to learn. And just start learning. It'll change your life. 18 months. I definitely want to touch on the mindset of a trustee. Self-accountability. That's the biggest one. If I tell you, hey, man, you were late, you didn't do that, or you didn't do that, you didn't do it. Are you gonna say, oh, because my back, or my dad, or I had to pick up my kids, or are you gonna be like, you know what, you're right, I didn't do that, And you know what? That's trash. And there ain't gonna be no next time. We ain't gonna be talking about this again. And I don't like feeling the way I feel right now, which is, I think it's shame. I don't like it. So we ain't gonna visit, or you're gonna be like, oh well, but that one time you did this, so how you gonna talk about me? Like, that's not. Look, it's two different types of people on this planet, man. I listened to a child. But you said. Oh, you know what? You're right. I did say. Most people, oh, you're a child. You can't talk to grown folks. You got grown folks. You gonna talk? I'm grown. So you grown? You can't mess up. We got to be able to be accountable for what we do and what we don't do. The first thing, that's one of the first things you got to, and that's hard because you got to put that ego away. First instinct is like, don't talk to me about nothing. Don't tell me nothing. You telling me about me? Look, fam, look. Walk away. Gotta let that go. I did it myself. Think I'm talking? That ego, my ego got out of control. I came face to face with my ego in Germany. And then again in London. So I'll tell you the truth. We got to put the ego away so we can be accountable. The only time that we're going to grow is if we say that we make mistakes, so therefore we must work on these mistakes. If we say and acknowledge that we don't know, so therefore we learn. We move from a place of ignorance to a place of knowledge. That's a requirement. You got to be able to walk in as a trustee and they say, hey, blah, blah. I'm like, well, I'm sorry. It appears to me that as though you're misconstruing this type of trust with some sort of grantor trust or some sort of simple trust. To be specific, the IRS recognizes three types of trust: simple, grantor, and complex. And this is a complex trust that owes its existence to contract or the common law, the right to contract. It does not owe its existence to any type of state legislation or federal legislation. Actually, upon its execution, it became a federal entity. It did not and does not fall under the purview or jurisdiction of any state legislature. Specifically, grantor trusts are known as revocable trusts. So you must get information about the grantor, but this here specifically is an irrevocable trust. But the grantor has no powers, and because the grantor has no powers, the grantor is outside of the entire trust itself. Actually, the grantor isn't even one of the trustees, nor is the grantor one of the trustees listed. So, maybe you can, no offense, because we're all, I've dealt with this all the time. A lot of people, are just not familiar with these types of trusts. I wasn't familiar with this type of trust either, and I'm just trying to get this job done. I understand. I'm trying not to get fired. Maybe I'm outside of my league, but I don't want these other trustees, So, like, is there any way we can just get this done? You know what I mean? I mean, that is the mindset of a trustee right there, hands down. I'm being informative. I'm letting you know what I know, but at the same time, I'm going to reach a position of, a corresponding level with the person I'm talking to, because they understand what it's like to not want to be fired. I'm not the boss. I'm not talking like the boss. I'm not telling them what they need to do, what they should do. I'm admitting that there was a point in time where I didn't even know what I was talking about. I'm admitting that I've dealt with this before, so I'm not putting them on the spot. Like, you're the only one I've ever had to deal with this before. Like, what's wrong with you? Are you incompetent people in the public? Oh my God, I'm tired of public people. I'm tired of dealing with other people's kids. Like, I'm not tripping like that. No, that's not how. No. And I'm being agreeable. Is there any way we can get this worked out? I'm appealing to a different nature that I would be appealing to had I came in with my back stiff, with an attitude, arrogantly, you in the public, you don't even know what I'm talking about, laughing. You don't even know the contract trust is. Your trust is under legislative authority. Nope. That's not the mind state. Matter of fact, I want to be as cordial, noble, and honorable as possible because I'm developing a relationship. I'm here acting on behalf of the trust. They saw the trust name. I'm supposed to get belligerent and start giving them problems after I gave them that indenture, and they see the name of the trust, that good name of the trust. If so, that's the improper mindset of a trustee. We do not participate in public controversies. And the bank is a public. At the DMV, that's a public. Even at the grocery store, swiping the trust card, that's the public. We don't participate in public controversies. You see these people out here picketing, vote on November 6th. Don't play around, honk if you hear us. I'm not honking. That's controversial. Standing there with signs, hey, that's public stuff. Will you come march with us and will you sign this petition? I'm not signing that. I mean, it's not a public controversy, but my daughter goes to public school, my youngest daughter, and they got this the free school lunch form. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all don't know. I remember it. But now it's not really the free school lunch form no more. They're trying to make it seem like it's some type of other form. But it's it's a federal form, man. And this is a state school. I understand the duality of these state schools with federally mandated curriculums because they accept federal funds. I understand this free school lunch thing is a federal program, and my children don't need that. You know what I mean? They don't need that. So I'm not filling out the form. I feel like last year someone filled it out or something because I got some sort of clarification or confirmation. My bad. Regarding this form, man, but I'm not filling this form because I know it's a federal form. It's the free and reduced lunches, and they're like, oh, I'm in the office, bringing my daughter to an appointment. I'm signing her out. And, the form she said it. Because I told my daughter, I'm not doing it. She told them my dad's not doing it. They're insistent. They're insistent because they get a certain number of funds per child. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with, if your child don't show up a certain number of days, those children that miss a certain number of days don't get counted for certain types of funds. That's why they trip, because the schools get less funds. But anyway, she was like, oh, you don't have to participate. If you don't want to participate, just check the box that you don't want to participate and then sign it. Like, fam, that's participating. If I'm not a participator, how about I just don't fill it out and know that I'm not participating because there's not it's not even. They don't even eat school lunch. Oh, it's not, it has to do with, funding and blah, blah, blah. Like, look, that's a federal matter. Not being mean, not giving attitude, but just being firm. Hey, man, that's public, man. That's federal. Private state citizen don't deal with that federal stuff. It's a state school. Y'all figure it out, man. I'm not going to get controversial, and I did get a look. I'm sure I'm the only one who said that stuff. I don't care. I did get a look, but to me that's controversial. I'm going to go to the phone lines in a couple of minutes. I'm ranting. I feel like I'm just talking right now. But I did want to check in on this mind state of a trustee. Part 3. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Hope y'all got something from it. The biggest thing I think is, focus. You need to be able to focus, consistency, dedication, and, commit to lifelong learning. Get your exercise on. Wake up as early as possible. And some of your best hours of the day are right after you work up, and for those next 8 hours. I know most of us work jobs and stuff, but hopefully you don't work 6 days a week. So you got 2 days, where you can get up early and use those hours, for you and for your business, for your entrepreneurial spirit, or for your learning spirit, or for your exercise spirit, or all of that. If you do work 6 days a week, you maybe got one day where you can do that. Start somewhere. Start small. If you work 7 days a week, man, family. I trust you have a plan. So that's not popping for too much longer. 424-222-5250. If you on the website, if you streaming online, we're about to start streaming in like 10 minutes. I was gonna cut you off. I'm about to go to the phone line, see what y'all talking about. Let me know what you think. Also, if you think there's anything that I missed, I'll be interested in hear. Your thoughts on, anything that I missed, anything you can add to the foundation, because, hey, I'm not the end-all, begin, and be-all of, what I'll be talking about. I just, to me, this is the most important. Out of everything that's going on, to me, this is the most important. All that other stuff can wait, as far as I'm concerned. So once again, 424-222-5250. And, we can go, let's do this. We go to, let me see, 218. Let's do this 218. Texas? 218-0703. 218-0703. Peace. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Islam. This is JD. I'm calling from North Minnesota.
Okay.
My question, I kind of, joined the conversation late, so I didn't want to ask an off-topic question. But the situation is at hand is I need a definite point to start and something that I can actually do and see the results for, as far as being a state citizen and getting from up under these adhesion contracts that I'm being held under. And I was wondering what would you recommend for a start?
To start. I think the first thing is, to get in a position, honestly, to where you're no longer, dependent and using that Social Security number to generate income and the title property. That's the first thing. So definitely I would say, getting your trust estate set up and getting that properly functioning to where, you can generate income outside of the individual, the straw man, all cap, however the debtor, however, most people regard it, I call it the individual because that's the name of the return files. So I think that would be the first thing, and that's honestly, that's trust. That's private contract trust. People get into it and they be like, want to make the debtor foreign and do the W-8 bins and all that stuff, but really, a contract trust is a non-resident alien. So due to the fact that it does not reside within the United States, and it's alien to the United States because it does not owe its existence to any state or the United States. So that's a non-resident alien. I think all this other stuff is out here just crazy. So just, the first thing, in my opinion, like I said, is, trust, contract trust, understanding contract trust, Massachusetts trust, business trust, pure trust, common law trust, however you want to look at it. It's called a lot of different things. But, understanding that entity, that private entity that's recognized to do business, it's in the United States in over 120 countries. That's what I would say. That's where I would say start. Trust and banking after that.
So I've got a couple books on that. Trust for Dummies and Managing Trust, some financial dictionaries and things of that nature. Now, in my situation, like I just come about them Desmond Crips, right? And so I'm limited everything. I'm limited because I got people, they standing on my neck. So I'm looking for a way to break free from them so that I can focus on building that on the private side. And so I'm looking for a solution for that.
I don't really too much get into all that. I mean, I know Yusuf does that. I think I understand what you're trying to say. But the people that I know that have had success with that is, they submitted some type of bond. Some people have done private bonds, some people have done, GSA bonds. But the only people I've seen, have some success with that is, like I said, they submit some type of bond. Get that submitted and recognized. So,
right,
maybe you want to get into bonds.
Yeah, I've heard Yusuf speak on submitting a bond to the court or whatever. So I think what you're saying is in agreement with that, and I really appreciate that. You let me know that. I know you guys are out here, y'all sharing this information, and this is how y'all making y'all living. And when, like in my situation, like I'm eager to learn, but I know it takes finance. And when you're in a situation where you don't have any finance, all you can do is collect the information until the finances come, And so
there's a lot of stuff, man. I mean, if you're willing to sit down and read, man, there's a lot of stuff, man. A lot of stuff on trust, a lot of stuff on banking, a lot of stuff on jurisprudence that's just out there for free. Like, welcome to the foundation.com. There's a PDF section. A lot of stuff on there for free, I know Yusuf has a lot of stuff on his Facebook group, High Frequency Radio Network Facebook group. A lot of stuff on there is free. So if you're willing to sit down and read, man, the only real finance is, getting the actual structures properly set up if you don't know how to do it yourself. But if you're willing to read and you're willing to learn, like, man, there's a lot of stuff out here that you ain't gotta. You can read for 3-4 years, man, and not spend a dime. Just soak it all in. So check out, welcome to the foundation.com. Check out the High Frequency Radio Network Facebook group. Request membership. He approves pretty soon.
Yeah,
I can't
even get on no social media. Like, for real, like, man, it's tight. It's real tight. But I can definitely go on the .com and do that.
You can go to websites?
Huh?
Not right now. You can't go to websites right now?
No, I can't go on no like the book or anything like that. Twitter, the book, Skype, none of those. It's like, I don't know. Right? Like Minnesota is a whole different breed of enslaving the people. The town I'm in, it's like half the people is working in social services and half the people is receiving social services. So it's like everywhere you look, there's an agent over your shoulder. You know what I'm saying? So I just gotta be able to not, violate none of my conditions, so that I can keep studying. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, I got you. Yeah, well, if you go to website though, you can't get on social media, but can you go to straight websites?
Yeah, I can go to straight website.
All right, so you can go to highfrequencyradionetwork.com and welcome to the foundation.com.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's why I've downloaded some of your, archives to my MP3, and I listen to you guys, 8 hours a day. I'll be just listening over and over again to the lessons, that y'all done went through. I've tried to set up my, my trust. I'm waiting to hear back. Every time I call in, the numbers is so, they want to keep you on hold for an hour now.
What number is that?
Huh?
What number are you calling for? What?
The Internal Revenue Service, so I can get the 98 number.
You gotta call later.
They got to call later?
Yeah. Call like right now. Like right now. Try that. Like at this time, like right now.
That helps. That helps. Well, I ain't going to call right now. I'll do it tomorrow. I'm going to keep listening to you. And if you got somebody else in the queue, I'm just going to continue to listen because I got a million questions. But I just definitely want y'all to know that these people out here appreciate, the message that y'all putting out.
Oh, yeah, definitely, man. We know what it is, man, and, trying to do it on as many mediums as possible because every different jurisdiction is locked down different mediums of communication. So, whether it's call in or online or on social media or whatever, man, I'm trying to be everywhere with this. So, glad you're able to connect in some way.
And some of Jonah Bay's, he talks about when you proclaim your nationality and you go get the, you have a notary to do it. Now, I proclaim my nationality through RV Bay. You familiar with them?
Yes, I am.
So, and, they tell you don't use no notaries because they're foreign. Why would you have, foreigners notarize your documents? But I've heard Jonah Bay say, well, you want them to notarize it. So I'm just kind of like, which one is accurate? I've already done it through RV Bay, but I want to have the most success. I'm on the easiest path, the most success in the fastest amount of time.
Notary makes it, able to be seen in the public. So, maybe not notarize those documents, but anything, any writ or affidavit that you put forth,
Right, because, one of the more says get you a private notary, which I've done. She's notarized my documents using my nationality ID card and my free national name. So that was a great motivation right there. I didn't have to have no state ID or anything,
Right. Yeah, if you work it and you demonstrate, man, the public is going to recognize eventually or right away. I guess it depends. But yeah, that's, knowing a notary versus trying to go get one out of the UPS store or out of the bank is always a better scenario anyways.
Okay. All right, Islam. I'm going to let you go ahead and finish your demonstration, man.
All right, man. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for calling in, man. Islam. And have a great time.
All right.
All right. And, I appreciate the family, calling in. I appreciate it. I appreciate the brothers, covering up the phone, trying to, keep it, trying to keep it, the noise down. I recognize that. I appreciate that. Thanks, family. And, definitely thanks for calling in, man. And, I'm here for you. Definitely here for you. Let me go on to the next caller. Do this. Next caller, let me see. Okay. Let's bring in Brian my guy Brian from the Bay. I see him on here. What's good, man? How you doing, man?
All right. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Doing great.
Well, that's good, man. Yeah, man, you make a good point, man, about, I see it in myself, and I'm pretty sure you see it in a lot of people. I guess you could say that the people who are, kind of at the top controlling this stuff, they kind of got everybody on a similar mindset where people claim they want to be in control, but they're not really wanting to do the things that make them be 100% control of their life. Like you said, you make excuses, shoulda, coulda, woulda, or or you go, well, I'll do that later, or well, I got something I got to do, instead of just taking the time to, pick people's brains, but actually learn what you need to learn. Because one thing you can say about people talk, about the Amish, but they know how to take care of themselves. And when I look at a lot of us in society, it's like you said, we rely too much on the public because they got our mind in that way. Like you think you're really making the moves, but you ain't really doing it because you still rely on those things because you learned it in school. So, I gotta look into myself and be like, why am I not, reading what I need to be reading the things, and calling the people when I got questions, the stuff, instead of being like, well, that person might be busy or whatnot, and just being in a situation where if you pass away, like you said, will I be fine, or will people? That's what people gotta realize. If you said for all these people who've been putting in the work for themselves, just all of a sudden you don't have to pass away. You can just say, I don't feel like dealing with this no more. And next you know, people just like lost, and it's like you can't be in a predicament where you stuck and you need that person to, I mean, it's cool to rely on people, but like you said, you need to just start stepping up. A lot of us claim to be adults and we claim we want to be out of the system or whatnot, but you ain't willing to put in that work, And like you say, you got to develop the muscle for disability. I mean, not I was say disability, for discipline. I think I have it, but then I think sometimes I'll just be like, huh? And then I kind of just fall off, And for me, I'm just saying, but in general, yeah, I just think that everybody needs to start having discipline and just start putting that work so you can make sure it's, so you won't be on this stuck in the system, stuck listening to people tell you what to do, because all these other people got the bread and they got this paper, they know how to manage themselves. So, even if I feel like even if some of these people lost the paper, they could probably get it back. Not all of them, but a lot of them can figure out how to get it back because they was willing to, sacrifice their time and their energy to something that was going to help them down the line. So, I feel like I need to do that more often. I mean, need to, do it consistently instead of being off and on. And I'm just talking for me, and stop worrying about the little problems I have, that I think I have, So, like for me, I'll be always tripping off the fact that I'm not the greatest reader in the room, but I'll be tripping when I be getting information. Other people read better than me they just don't care. So, that's one thing I have to say, and keep doing what you're doing, and I will be listening as long as you be doing it.
All right, man. Appreciate you calling in, man. Thanks, man. Thanks for that. I'll talk to you soon. Peace. Yeah, man. That's true. A lot of times, our shortcomings are only our shortcomings because we accept them. And a lot of times they're not shortcomings, or those shortcomings make us, overcompensate in other areas. It's definitely, it's time to start giving ourselves some credit. Start giving yourself some credit, man. Why don't you focus on the things that you are good at? How about that? Let's focus on the things that you did do, that you did accomplish, the things that you do deserve. Instead of, we just always beating ourselves up all the time. Let's chill with all that. The whole, I guess that means I'm done. The whole switchboard just went. Yeah, okay. So I guess that's it. I definitely want to, I appreciate y'all tuning in, for the show, coming out. Thanks for coming out. And, I trust that you got something from the show, definitely. The mindset of a trustee is very important. And, having a proper mind state will ensure that you have more successful situations down the line, and you can teach successful administration for your successors. I mean, this stuff is important. We don't have to, big it up bigger than it really is. But I mean, this stuff is important. So let's look at it as important, and create an example, demonstrate. I mean, to me, it is what it is. So admin at welcometothefoundation.com. Book a consultation. You want to jump into trustee training? I highly suggest it. I think it's, one of the most important things you're going to do in your adult life is structure your private estate. And right now, we can do it. Back in the day, there's times where, our ancestors, a couple generations back, got murdered for doing the things that we're able to do today. So, should respect our ancestors, and a lot of things, that they weren't able to do that we can. Maybe it's kind of, our responsibility to do that. In my opinion, it's our responsibility to reestablish our private estates. And I don't see anything too much more important than that at this moment. So, definitely get with me if that is, something you're into. Welcome to thefoundation.com. There's a lot of stuff you can read on there for free. A lot of information you can get into. HighFrequencyRadioNetwork.com. He's always changing this. I ain't gonna say nothing, but I'm gonna tell you, it's a resource. It's definitely a resource. And another part of the ego is being able to say that I don't know. Letting the ego go and be like, I don't know, and learning from someone, and admitting that I don't know. And being able to find out. So go easy on yourself, but get that that learning spirit back. That stuff is important. We definitely need that. So I definitely want to say, thank you. Definitely checking out the show. I'll catch y'all next week. Trustees, I'll talk to you soon. Everybody else, you enjoy yourself. Be good to yourself. Look out for yourself. Before you go to sleep tonight, name 10 things. You ain't gotta say it out loud, but just check off 10 things that you're appreciative for right now, today, in this life, and go to sleep with that on your mind. Y'all enjoy yourselves, take care of yourself, invest in your private education, and continue learning. And every day, let's just focus on being better. That being said, welcome to thefoundation.com. Admin at welcometothefoundation.com if you want to get with me. Y'all have a great week. I'll catch you next week here on High Frequency Radio Network. This is So L. Peace.
Doing this thing all the way live. High Frequency Radio.